Hey guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of July 16th, 2021. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor, so stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Over on the GameFound platform, 2 board games are currently funding worth checking out. First is Vast Grimm by Infinite Black. It's a rules-light, infectious sci-fi horror RPG where you immerse yourself in a universe on the brink of collapse. You're the last of humanity trying to survive as the universe is consumed by growing parasitic worms. Definitely take a look. The campaign ends August 2nd. Also on GameFound is a game from Awaken Realms Light called Platformer. It's a funny, quick adventure game with a lot of cards, miniatures, and fighting. Climb on platforms, fight monsters, gather gold, points, and items, and race with your friends. There's even a solo mode as a stretch goal. If you're interested, you have to back it today. It's the last day of their campaign. Up first on the Kickstarter front is Distilled, which is all about crafting spirits from around the world. It's a highly strategic and thematic card game for 1 to 5 players with resource management, recipe fulfillment, tableau building, and luck mitigation mechanisms. It plays 30 minutes per player. The next Kickstarter campaign for Mr. Meeple clothing and accessories is now up and running until August 6th. I'm a big fan of their unique board game designs, and again, you can pledge for all kinds of shirts. They've got new designs as well as some classic favorites. Check it out to bling out your wardrobe. On Kickstarter this week, launched the scan and play dungeon crawl game, Tailmore. I had a chance to play this early and even make a full tutorial video for it. So you should totally watch that to see what it's all about. Jay and I had a ton of fun with it and really hope it funds. It uses the QR scanning technology in a really innovative way that I think more board games should try to implement. The design of it all is just excellent. You can join the campaign until August 12th. Bantam West is a new adventure sim game for 2 to 4 players set in the wild frontier. The game includes action points, point-to-point movement, line of sight, dice rolling, modular boards, variable player powers, deck building, and hand management mechanisms. Explore and survive the frontier in one of 6 different game modes. The campaign ends August 12th. The Vital Lacerda game on Mars is funding an expansion called Alien Invasion. It will add 4 new gameplay modes such as 1 versus many, fully cooperative, and solo. Each new gameplay style has new scenarios to play through and lots more components. For a new 18xx style train game, check out 1947, The Decline of an Empire, The Birth of a Nation. Develop railways and your business across India from 1836 to 1947. For those unfamiliar with the big 18xx games out there, this might be one to get started because it's a really good entry point for the genre. You've only got a few weeks left to join in. For a much lighter train game, check out the roll and write game Train in Vain. Build track connections, buy and sell goods, and complete contracts. It plays in 30 to 60 minutes and is for 1 to 100 players. You've got 2 weeks to join the campaign. Velocity Vanguard is an epic story-driven tactical space experience with unique gameplay. Customize and launch your ship solo with allies or enemies. Up to 4 can play at 30 minutes per player. Each faction is different with special abilities and playstyles. There's a ton of components, more than I can go over. So if you're interested in this futuristic space exploration game, check it out on Kickstarter by July 29th. For a cooperative fantasy-themed game, check out Soul Raiders for 1 to 4 players. Become a powerful warrior mage in this action-packed, story-driven, epic game where a full quest is over 30 hours. Expect 2 to 4 hours per game session. It features 3 chapters of a story that can be played again and again with different challenges each time. There are no turns, with players instead acting independently and simultaneously. Resolve actions using the 4 cards in your hand. There's a lot of content here, so take a look at their page on Kickstarter for more. Also in the fantasy theme, check out Volfirian Guilds, a competitive, fast-paced deck-building card game for 1 to 4 players. Destroy all 3 opponent cities to win. Use your troops to attack, and thin your deck to maximize powerful combos. It's highly strategic with a lot of replayability. Each match lasts 20 to 40 minutes. Also on Kickstarter, for a lighter fare, check out the dexterity game Flicking Finches. In this family-friendly game, each player controls a small flock of finch discs with various characteristics. Flick them as close as possible to the Charles Darwin figure without knocking them over. For 2 to 4 players, it takes 30 to 45 minutes to play. Just launched on Kickstarter is Solutions, a collaboration game of hope and action for the climate. Fight climate change together by reducing global emissions before it's too late. Watch out for dangerous feedback loops and global climate events. It's for 1 to 8 players and plays in 60 to 90 minutes. Another cooperative game on Kickstarter is Rat Queens to the Slaughter. Save Palisade from destruction as warrior sister queens. Each rat queen has asymmetric and unique playstyles. For 1 to 4 players, defeat hordes of monsters together and stop the big bad. Guardians of Fire is a strategically challenging and deeply compelling combat exploration board game for 2 to 5 players set in mythological ancient Persia. It plays in 90 minutes and is based on the comic series. Players are warrior priests with holy powers and gifts from the god of light. The game features lots of miniatures, game boards, and other components. Just launched and funded this week is a fast-paced car fighting board game called Death Roads All-Stars. It's set in a dystopian future where players compete to win in a deadly race as part of a TV contest. Manage your car's condition and handling, gears, and watch out for the skid mechanic and random road events. The campaign closes on July 28th. In industry news, the 14th Annual Gaming Awards from the Dice Tower winners were announced. All the winners are listed on the Dice Tower website, with over 15 categories represented. The Best Game of the Year winner is The Crew: The Quest for Planet 9, the cooperative trick-taking game released last year. Dune Imperium won for the Best Small Publisher Game, with the Best Game Artwork award going to The Lost Ruins of Arnak. A 12-year-old just became the youngest chess grandmaster, hailing from New Jersey. Abhimanyu Mishra beat the previous record holder by 3 months of age, Sergei Karjakin. The GameGenic Group will be working together with Days of Wonder to produce unique card sleeves for the Ticket to Ride series. These new packs will feature officially licensed art from Ticket to Ride and will hit retail this fall. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game organized tournament play has opened up this week for the first time since COVID hit. Konami Digital Entertainment recommended it open up again, but defers to retailer discretion and has competitors confirm they are vaccinated against COVID. The CDC guidelines are still recommended, including wearing masks. A new vice president of sales and e-commerce has just been appointed at Paizo Inc. Mike Webb takes on the role starting this month and comes from 20 years of experience with Alliance Game Distributors. Paizo is most known for producing the Pathfinder and Starfinder game series. Board game rentals may become a new thing thanks to the web company RPG Kitchen. It's a website that will operate similar to the Netflix web days of renting and lets gamers rent RPG PDF books to start. Creators who rent or sell their games there will split profits, gaining 90% for the developer. The independent games company Big Potato just launched a trade-in program in the UK to recycle old board games. When trading in old board games, they're giving 20% off new Big Potato games. The traded-in games will be donated to local charities and community groups. The publisher members of the Game Manufacturers Association voted to give up control of the organization, giving it to a board with equal representation of publishers, wholesalers, retailers, creators, media and events, and production. This new board of directors will now be able to control and vote for officers. A virtual summit called Generation Analog will take place in August, headed up by the Asmodee research group Game In Lab and Analog Game Studies. It's a 2-day summit featuring over 30 panelists and 3 keynote speakers, discussing the evolution of societal attitudes around tabletop RPGs, inclusivity, how race should be depicted in board games, and more. Elizabeth Hargrave is set to be one of the keynote speakers, most known for designing the popular game Wingspan. Machikoro is getting a sequel from Pandasaurus Games simply called Machikoro 2. New adventurers featuring new zoning laws, limited budgets, and new card effects such as landmarks that can also benefit opponents. It's for 2 to 5 players and plays in 45 minutes. It will retail for $29.95 later this year. Direwolf Digital has announced an expansion to the popular Dune Imperium deck builder worker placement game. Coming this holiday season, the Rise of Ix expansion will add new mechanisms like dreadnoughts and Ixian technology tiles. The tiles are permanent upgrades to abilities throughout the game. No price has been announced yet. Z-Man Games is developing a new pandemic game set around World of Warcraft. In this collaboration with Blizzard Entertainment, heroic leaders, zombie miniatures, and other troops will take the place of the normal disease cubes, but the game should play relatively similarly. The Lich King will have its own miniature and must be defeated to win. Catan is getting a logic puzzle game where players must craft the best network of settlements, cities, wood stores, and more. There's no trading or resource collecting, but instead must fulfill requirements shown on drawn cards throughout the game. It will be a solo-only game coming this August for $35. For another solo game, look at Lux Aeterna from Capstone Games. It's a solo card game where your spaceship is stuck in the gravitational pull of a black hole. You'll have to repair the ship damage and prevent it from getting destroyed or being sucked into the black hole. It plays in 15 minutes and will retail for $19.95. Luna Imports is re-releasing Gravity Superstar, which originally came out in 2018. It's for 2 to 6 players ages 7 and up and plays in 20 minutes. It has a unique movement mechanism where pawns are affected by gravity until stopped by a platform. It's coming in the 3rd quarter. Winston is a Dachshund collecting card game by Helvetic, coming to retail August 20th. Complete different colored dogs trying to make the longest dogs possible while avoiding getting dog poo. Plays in 15 minutes for 2 to 6 players. Also from Helvetic, check out the espionage card game Compromat, coming August 20th. Become rival spies trying to release compromising material about a public figure. Has push your luck, set collection, and the possibility of a player instantly losing the game. It's for 2 players and plays in 30 minutes. Hava USA is putting out a deduction card game in the 3rd quarter called The Key, Theft in Cliff Rock Villa. The villa has been targeted by a string of robberies for valuable artwork, and players must gather clues to solve the crimes. Work simultaneously with the other players to win. The game plays in 15 to 20 minutes for 1 to 4 players. Expected to retail for $29.99. This month, coming from Everything Epic Games, is Gunfighter, a Wild West dueling card game. Use skill cards like shooting, dodging, taunting, and stare downs for showdowns with your opponent. Once one player has lost all their health, they lose. It's a 2-player game that plays in 10 minutes. Stefan Feld has a new game coming August 21st called Kokopelli. Releasing by Queen Games, it's a card game about starting and completing ceremonies. Once all the game end tiles have been placed, the player with the most points wins. It's for 2 to 4 players and will retail for $69.99. Portal Games has a party game coming in August called $1 Million Script. Battle it out against everyone for producing the next blockbuster script. One player is the producer and evaluates the script elements players contributed via cards. 3 to 10 players can play, and it retails for $20. Imperial Steam is a new railway building game from Capstone Games coming this October. Expand your network by hiring and training workers, building factories, and producing and delivering goods. The trains can be upgraded during the game to hold more. It plays in 90 to 120 minutes for 2 to 4 players. It's expected to retail for $69.95. Stronghold Games is releasing an historical board game about Civil War bonds called Profiteers. Coming July 28th, players take on the roles of British arms manufacturers trying to gain gold and bonds, which change value depending on who is winning the American Civil War. It's for 3 to 5 players ages 14 and up, plays in 30 minutes, and will retail for $19.99. An English edition of Furnace is coming to the US in the third quarter from Hobby World. It's an engine building game where players are 19th century capitalists building their corporations. Purchase companies, extract resources, and process them to sell. Gain the most money to win. For 2 to 4 players and plays in about 45 minutes. Expected retail is $34.99. The designer of Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition has a new narrative board game coming to Kickstarter in September. It's called Artisans of Splendent Vale and is a cooperative adventure set in a magical, unique land. Mark your calendars, as this looks very interesting and will probably get a lot of attention. Also coming soon to Kickstarter is the board game adaptation of the Resident Evil video game. Based on the first game in the series, Steamforged Games has teased an autumn campaign for it, which marks the 3rd Resident Evil game in the trilogy they've produced as board games. Expect lots of miniatures and a campaign following the game's story. In other video game to board game news, Super Mario Labyrinth is coming later this year from Ravensburger. Various Mario characters will be hiding in the maze, and players must help them find the shortest route out. It still plays like the classic Labyrinth board game, but with this Mario theme attached. Expected retail is $34.99. The designer of Sushi Go and Baron Park has a new game called Super Mega Lucky Box for 1 to 6 players. It involves crossing off various numbers on a 3x3 whiteboard grid. It plays in 4 rounds using 3 cards of the 5 dealt to you. It will be released by Gamewright, who also publishes Forbidden Island and its sequels. Lastly, a new family game from Renegade Game Studios and Oni Games has been announced called The 3 Little Wolves. It's a reimagining of the classic fairy tale where the big bad pigs try to destroy the little wolves' houses. Build up your house to become the tallest by adding floors and basement levels. Sneak into other players' houses to hide, with timing being a key element. It plays in 20 minutes for ages 8 and up. For 2 to 4 players and is coming this October. On the Meeple Mentor channel, I most recently uploaded a tutorial for the Kickstarter game Tailmore, funding right now. Jay and I really enjoyed it and were excited to be able to create the video for their campaign, so definitely check it out. I uploaded 2 unboxing videos of Mondo Games' Unmatched series. I unboxed the Jurassic Park Engine vs. Raptors base game, plus the brand new Deadpool expansion. Deadpool has a lot of cool, unique cards that have a ton of humor. We were laughing throughout at the cards that came out in our game. Also this week, our 20th episode of Mentor Minutes released, and we discussed our top 10 drafting board games. We had a lot of fun making this list, so be sure to listen and watch. Comment your own list or what you think of our picks. 2 tutorials are on deck and completed coming soon. Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig and Outlive. I think Between Two Castles will come first, which will include their latest expansion, Secrets and Soirees. Lastly, I'll give you an update on a new video series that Jay and I are developing. We're calling it Jay's Takeaways, and will be short 2 to 3 minute reviews or opinions from Jay. Each episode he'll talk briefly about a game, both old and new, and ones he likes and doesn't like. Just short little perspectives on games to give a quick idea of what they are and if they're any good. It should be ready very soon. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.